Hey guys, quick bench video here on my Rgt Rock Hammer. A couple changes I've made. I weighted the front wheels with low melt and just poured that in from the back side, put a piece of foam here to keep it from running through the holes. And I don't know how much it weighs, but it's similar to lead. It's heavier than brass, but not quite as heavy as lead. And I can't remember the the makeup of it. If you look up low melt, I'm sure you could find it. It's probably like any decent machine shop tool catalog, online catalog would have that. You use it for various things, and I used it to weight these wheels, and puts the weight out on the corners. It's heavier than brass, cheaper than brass, and well, maybe not cheaper. I don't know. I had it laying around, so I don't know how much it costs. Also, I put my Dixieland I copied their mod on these shocks, and they're TRX4 shocks, and I got the when it's down on the floor, it's pretty much mostly drooped in the front, and in the back it's boy, I don't know how far, but it's not, it's a little stiffer in the back. I could even make that a little, maybe with the stiffer springs, to keep that from collapsing going up hills. And also I got a different transmission in there. I took I don't know if you can get that focused. This that is that cheapish, I should say, Amazon transmission with a dig on it. It's a copy of a Vanquish. It's similar to Vanquish. I'm not sure if it's an exact copy, but it's only about $61. Works pretty decent. Here's my old transmission here. Just the the old Axial, or whoever came up with this idea. Works fine. But this here, I wanted the dig unit to help out steering a little tighter. You notice the motor now is pointing to the back, and that's just how it had to be. The other transmission had the motor up a little farther, and I got a little room up here. I may move it on the skid there a little bit, but and then I set this up using a micro servo, or it's a TR4 servos, Power HD. The label's underneath, but they're those drop-in servos that everybody uses for their TRX4s and TRX6s. Nice thing about these micro servos is they'll take 7.4 volts, so you can run them with a little more voltage, especially if you're running 3 or 4 of them, or what's the TRX6 take? I can't remember, 3, I guess, and you're running a big heavy rig, and you probably want to run that 7.4 volts, and with these servos you can do that. I don't remember what the stock voltage is on the TRX4 and TRX6 speed controllers, but I imagine it's in 6-ish volts or 5.4 or whatever it is. But these guys here will run the 7.4, and when you buy this transmission, it doesn't come with any instructions and description there on Amazon. You won't even know what it is, but look for the one that has a little gear shifter there, and that engages a like a coupling, a spline coupling, and what that does is locks you up in the back, and you're able to turn much tighter. So well, of course you guys know all that, but anyways, when you get this, it comes with this mount here for a standard servo. You don't want to use that. That puts that you know, a servo up above the motor, too much high weight. So you want to rig something up, either block it up on your skid, or what I did is I milled a square out in my chassis and tapped a couple holes here and here, and screwed that sucker in there. It's not going anywhere. It's a nice solid mount, but you can figure something out there and use that little servo. I think this is, I don't know, that was in my box of junk, so I just stuck that on there. And that's a Arma. An Arma servo arm seems to be about the right height for that guy. But anyway, probably going to need to run some sort of servo saver on this, because what you know, it's just running at the mercy of that spline engaging, and what you got is I'm running on this, you know, on this guy here. This is I don't have another receiver for my FlySky GT5, so I'm going to run it on the Dumbo, and I really like this radio. I know it's pretty cheesy when you feel it in your hand and everything, but I've run, I don't know how many cars on this thing, and the range is like, it's got to be twice as far as my GT5, and I don't know what these go for, maybe 35 bucks. And receivers are like $8. I mean, you can't beat them. There's a receiver up there, and whatever that says on there, that's your receiver, 6 channels. And I got this. I think it's on. I don't have my glasses on, but I think that's channel 5. And so there you go. It just, yeah, see that guy. So there is. I think that's everybody turning, and then in the middle, your let me see where it goes here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm lying. Okay, there is the dig, right? We're locked up, and then there it goes. So it's not the best setup on this radio because I can't set any endpoints. But I'm using this knob here, so just kind of easing into it, you know, while it's going slow, and yeah, you know, we'll see how it goes. I might, like I said, might need to put some kind of servo saver on there. I don't have much room in there. I may have to figure something out, but anyway, also you gotta. I had to change my skid, had to slot it. It's a little bit different, and put these different drive shafts on. And these drive shafts, they have that, see that ring there? That holds the CVD together. Oh, maybe you can see this one better. You see that punch mark? That keeps them from falling off. So what happens is, you're driving down the trail and a rock hits that, gets underneath, or you're braking over something, and that little sleeve is just pressed on there, and it pops off, and then your CVD falls apart, and then, you know, the little pin comes out, and, you know, it's a big mess. But if you put a little punch mark in there, that'll keep that from happening. There's a ring around the CVD, and you just kind of eyeball up the ring with your punch, and you punch it, and it pushes the metal into that grooved ring area, and then that thing ain't coming off. And you don't want to take them apart anyways, right? So and if they're cheap enough, they're just those Power Hobby ones. If you break the pin, yeah, and you mangle it getting it apart, well, you just buy another one. They're like 20 bucks, right? So the thing I like about these is they're splined. They're cheap. Two things: they're cheap, and they're splined. So you can make these shorter if you want. You notice with the other drive shafts that aren't splined, they're just like a like a D shape. It's only the front, maybe 1/4 inch or even 1/8 inch, that has that D shape in it. If you cut that away, then you don't have nothing to drive your system, right? So with the spline there, it goes all the way through the shaft, so you can cut it and make it a custom length if you need to. So anyway, just thought I'd show you that that transmission there. Exocaged RC, I think, has a review on this. He runs it in one of his crawlers. Yeah, I'm sure he'd have far better running footage than I would have. And I think he even takes it apart, compares it to the Vanquish one. It's not really this thing's not the cat's pajamas, but it's only 61 bucks, and it's made really nice. And I took it all apart and greased it up and put it all back together, and it's tight. I mean, it's the bearing races and everything are pretty snug in there. It's the spline where this engages back. Oh, that's neutral, by the way. I forgot about that. So in the middle there's neutral. Back there, where is it at here? That's locked. And yeah, see, that's locked. So right there, so you got it freewheeling, and then your four wheel. Okay, so it is 3 positions. So if you had a 3-position receiver, or what am I saying? 3-position switch, it would be pretty sweet. You could set the endpoints, and it would be pretty quick. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll set this up on my GT5. Another thing I want to do is get rid of this. That's a lot of heavy. That's a machined. It's really nice. It's nicely machined, but you don't want all that weight up there. And I'll just tie up these wires, and a lot of times I'll just run this battery the other way, so this guy's not hanging there. But I don't run this crawler. If it's a wet day, I would run my TRX4. So this thing's going to be a fair weather crawler anyway, so I don't mind having that gearing exposed. The only thing is sometimes you got to watch the leaves and stuff get hobbed up in there. But that's probably like 2 ounces sitting up high like that. Another thing they give you is a metal spur, and I get rid of that too. I don't like that extra high weight. It's high above the motor, and I just put a plastic spur on there. So that's going to do it, I guess. Next time I'll maybe get this thing out. I've been running my other crawlers. I haven't ran this a whole lot, but with this setup anyways, I might have had it out once. And I'm always messing with it. It's kind of an oddball, this thing. It's a longer wheelbase. It's not really, it's almost as wide as a Capra, but it's the axles are these silly Red Cat axles, or whoever came up with that design, with these extensions on there. If you can see that in there, and it makes it wide, and so its side hill is pretty nice. But getting it set up the way I like it is it's a little bit of a challenge. I got it to perform pretty good. Got to get rid of that bumper. It just sticks out too far. It gets in the way all the time. And I already got rid of the rear one. So anyway, that's going to do it. See ya.